Book of Daniels. Here's a detailed video focusing on the Book of Daniel. This book is rich in narrative and prophecy, showcasing the faithfulness of God and the importance of steadfast faith in challenging circumstances. Welcome back to your channel, Christ Loves You Forever. In today's video, we're diving into the fascinating Book of Daniel, a unique blend of historical narrative and prophetic visions. This book not only tells the story of Daniel and his friends in Babylon, but also offers profound insights into faith, perseverance, and God's sovereignty over human history. Whether you're familiar with Daniel or exploring it for the first time, there's much to uncover. Have you ever wondered about the hidden secrets in the Book of Daniel? This ancient text is more than just a collection of stories. It's a treasure trove of prophecy, wisdom, and divine insight. The Book of Daniel is famous for its captivating tales, like Daniel in the lion's den and the fiery furnace. But what many overlook are the profound messages embedded within these narratives. Daniel's visions and interpretations reveal a timeline of historical events, God's sovereignty, and the ultimate victory of good over evil. Daniel's secret isn't just in what he saw, but in how he lived. He remained steadfast in faith amid trials, showing us the power of prayer and integrity. His life exemplifies resilience, urging us to trust in a greater plan, even when the world feels chaotic. So what can we learn from Daniel today? It's about looking beyond the surface. The Book of Daniel encourages us to seek understanding, embrace hope, and hold on to our faith in uncertain times. Part 1. Historical Context and Overview. The Book of Daniel is set during the Babylonian exile, which began in 586 BC, when Jerusalem was conquered by King Nebuchadnezzar. Daniel, a young Jewish nobleman, was taken captive to Babylon, where he would serve in the royal court. Daniel can be divided into two main sections. 1. Narrative, chapters 1 through 6. These chapters recount the stories of Daniel and his friends, highlighting their faithfulness to God amidst trials. 2. Prophetic visions, chapters 7 to 12. These chapters contain Daniel's apocalyptic visions, revealing God's plan for the future and the coming of his kingdom. Traditionally attributed to Daniel himself, the book is believed to have been written in the 6th century BC. However, some scholars suggest it may have been finalized in the 2nd century BC during the Maccabean period. Part 2. Key Narratives. Daniel and his friends in Babylon, Chapter 1. Daniel and his friends Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah are taken to Babylon to be trained in the king's court. They are given new names: Belteshazzar, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Determined not to defile themselves with the king's food and wine, Daniel proposes a test. They will eat vegetables and drink water for 10 days. At the end of the test, they appear healthier than the other young men, demonstrating God's favor. Nebuchadnezzar's Dream, Chapter 2. The King's Distress. King Nebuchadnezzar has a troubling dream and demands that his wise men not only interpret it, but also reveal its content. When they fail, he orders their execution. Daniel's prayer and revelation. Daniel seeks God's mercy and prays with his friends. God reveals the dream and its interpretation to Daniel, who explains that the dream depicts a statue made of various materials representing different kingdoms. God's sovereignty. Daniel emphasizes that God is the ultimate authority over earthly kingdoms, and at the end of the dream, a stone representing God's kingdom crushes the statue, illustrating the eternal nature of God's reign. The fiery furnace, chapter 3. The golden image. Nebuchadnezzar builds a massive golden statue and commands everyone to worship it. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego refuse to bow down, remaining faithful to God. Confrontation and deliverance. They are brought before the king and face the threat of being thrown into a blazing furnace. Their bold response reflects unwavering faith. Our God is able to deliver us, but even if He does not, we will not serve your gods. Miraculous rescue. When thrown into the furnace, they are unharmed, and a fourth figure, appearing like a son of the gods, is seen walking with them. Nebuchadnezzar praises God for delivering them, acknowledging the power of their faith. Nebuchadnezzar's insanity, chapter 4. Nebuchadnezzar has another dream, which Daniel interprets as a warning of his impending humiliation due to pride. Daniel urges the king to repent and seek God's mercy. When the king fails to heed the warning, he is driven from society and lives like an animal until he acknowledges God's sovereignty. Once restored, he praises God, illustrating the importance of humility before the Almighty. The writing on the wall. Chapter 5. Belshazzar's feast. Belshazzar, Nebuchadnezzar's successor, holds a feast and uses the sacred vessels from the temple in Jerusalem. A mysterious hand writes on the wall, causing fear among the guests. Daniel's interpretation. Daniel is brought in to interpret the writing, Mene, Mene, Tekel, Parsin, which signifies the end of Belshazzar's reign due to his arrogance and failure to honor God. That very night, Belshazzar is killed, and the kingdom falls to the Medes and Persians. Daniel in the lion's den, chapter 6. Plot against Daniel. Under King Darius, Daniel excels in his role, prompting jealousy among other officials. They devise a plan to trap him by convincing the king to issue a decree that no one can pray to any god except the king for 30 days. Daniel's faithfulness. Despite the decree, Daniel continues to pray to God 3 times a day. When caught, he is thrown into the lion's den as punishment. Divine protection. God sends an angel to shut the lions' mouths, and Daniel emerges unharmed the next morning. Darius praises God, and the conspirators are thrown to the lions instead. Part 3. Prophetic Visions. Daniel's vision of the 4 beasts, chapter 7. A vision of beasts. Daniel has a night vision of 4 great beasts rising from the sea, symbolizing 4 kingdoms. The 4th beast is particularly terrifying, representing a powerful and oppressive empire. The Ancient of Days. In the vision, God is depicted as the Ancient of Days, who judges the beasts and establishes his everlasting kingdom. This vision emphasizes the ultimate triumph of God's kingdom over earthly powers. The Ram and the Goat, chapter 8. Symbolic animals. Daniel sees a ram with 2 horns and a goat with a prominent horn. The ram represents the Medo-Persian Empire, and the goat symbolizes Greece, led by Alexander the Great. Prophecy of future events. This vision reveals the rise and fall of kingdoms, demonstrating God's control over history and the unfolding of his divine plan. Part 4. Key Themes and Lessons. The Book of Daniel showcases the importance of remaining faithful to God in challenging circumstances. Daniel and his friends exemplify unwavering trust in God's protection and deliverance. Throughout the narrative and prophecies, God's sovereignty over nations and history is a central theme. Despite the rise and fall of empires, God remains in control and fulfills his promises. Daniel's commitment to prayer is a vital aspect of his life and relationship with God. His prayers are not only personal, but also intercessory, reflecting the importance of seeking God's guidance and mercy. The prophetic visions in the latter half of the book offer hope for God's people, assuring them that his kingdom will ultimately triumph, providing encouragement amidst oppression. Part 5. Conclusion and Reflection. The Book of Daniel is a powerful testament to faith, courage, and God's sovereignty. It encourages believers to remain faithful, trust in God's plans, and look forward to the fulfillment of his promises. As we reflect on the Book of Daniel, consider how you can apply its lessons in your life. Are there areas where you need to stand firm in your faith? How can you trust God amidst uncertainties? I encourage you to read through the Book of Daniel for yourself. Take time to reflect on the narratives and prophecies, allowing them to inspire and strengthen your faith. If you found this exploration of the Book of Daniel meaningful, please like, share, and subscribe for more content. I would love to hear your thoughts. What part of Daniel resonated with you the most? What questions do you have about the Book of Daniel? Let's continue the conversation in the comments below. Thank you for joining me today as we explored the Book of Daniel. May you find strength and encouragement in your faith journey. Until next time, keep seeking truth and living boldly. God bless.